Hey guys, welcome to the Kickback Cafe podcast. It's Dr. Sonia here.
Hey, it's Jonna.
And we are here with a room full of our youth. We are super excited to have our teen host here. Say hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Ayana. I'm 14 years old and I go to Howard High School for Technology.
Hi, my name is Imani. I attend St. George's Vocational High School and I am 14 years old.
Hi, my name is Sanaya. I'm 15 and I go to Middletown High School and I represent musical theater and dance.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm in my first year at UD and I'm a youth ambassador for the Wilmington Community Advisory Council.
Hi, my name is Soraya. I'm 17. I go to Hudson and I'm here with the Back on Track program.
Welcome, ladies. So I'm super excited today because the message or the vision for the Kickback Cafe podcast, of course, is we are bringing fresh perspective on timeless content. We have you guys in the room. I know we talked a little bit about me just saying the other day, I said to someone on the phone in a conversation, back in my day. So, and I surprised myself because I don't feel that old. There's a lot of things going on in the world and I want to get you guys' perspective and see how you guys are seeing the things that are happening. My first question has to do with social life. How is your social life growing up, if you can remember from childhood to now? For instance, when I first started, I rode my bike a lot. It was me and my friends in the neighborhood. We rode our bikes to corner stores. That was the thing to do, was to get on the bike and just ride around the neighborhood together. What are you guys seeing? Like, what do you like to do? How's social life?
So back when I was little, we used to be able to go anywhere with anything and then without having nothing being taken from us or anything, or we could be ourselves. And then now it's just you go to the corner store, you can just die from there. And it's like you don't want that to happen. So people just try to stay in the house more.
I definitely think that there's a lot of changes that have happened, whether it be like in schools, politically, in the environment. Personally, when I was younger, learning how to ride a bike with your training wheels, when you get your training wheels off, you was lit.
That was it.
And having a scooter was fun, but nowadays it feels younger kids, all they want to do is be on their phones, and I think it's devoured our social life because it's harder to make friends because everybody wants to be on their phone or everybody wants to be nonchalant with talking and all that other stuff. I think it's a bad change, but I also think it's a good change. It has its pros and cons. I definitely think going to high school was harder to make friends because everybody was adjusted to this certain lifestyle of having an iPad or a phone in their hand, having their own cliques from elementary school or middle school. I also think elementary school kids are getting adjusted to like being on FaceTime with their friends. That wasn't the thing. You use the house phone for me. Like you use the house phone. You call your friend like you was lit. But I think it's a good change and a bad change that's going on.
The house phone. You bring up the house phone. Like, I remember the party line. We legit had a party line. So people would call in. You had to call a specific number to get access to this party line, and you could have more than three people on the phone at one time. Like, it was everybody, literally, from the whole class on the phone. Yes. So, yeah, I definitely feel you on that. The house phone. And then having my mom pick up, like, you on the phone?
Yeah, that was so embarrassing.
So, I'm with you. So what else about social life has changed?
I say when I was younger, all I really had was my sister's show. I didn't really go out and experience things like that, like Imani did. But I see what she mean, like about the technology and stuff. Everyone is always on their phone, and that's how everyone communicates. But I wish there was more in-person interactions. I just enjoy talking like people face to face. So if someone called me on FaceTime, I don't really like it. And the other thing she was saying about cliques and stuff, it's hard to make friends because no one wants to branch out and be open-minded about stuff. They rather just stick with what they know. But I wish people were like more willing to experience new things and realize that everyone's different and try to have a variety of friends and not just the same type of people.
So having an open mind.
Yeah.
Open mind influences perspective. Would you agree? The more you know about somebody else, the more you know about a different culture or a different food, it kind of helps you understand the world around you. We can say that we've actually experienced these things, and then when we encounter them again later on down the road or something else happens, we're like, hey, I can relate my past experience with this back to whatever it is that I'm experiencing now. But I think that you're right, Alexis. A lot of people don't have an open open mind. And I think that is leading us into this world of social media. What do you guys think about social media?
Everyone copies each other, follows each other, do the same thing. So I wish they would use it in different ways, but
Yeah, I think everybody like wants to be an Instagram model or like be popping on social media. But personally, for me, I use social media as like a platform for people to see what I do. I dance, so I usually post stuff about that. I try to get involved with different activities in school. I also try to post about that, but I try not to post my friends and stuff like that. I try not to be like everybody else because my teacher always told me you weren't born to fit in, you were born to stand out.
I like that. That's definitely positive. And then like going into everybody being the same on social media, women with cookie cutter bodies. What do you guys think about that? How
I
does
think
that
that is
feel?
bad because you're putting illegal stuff in your body just so you can get a different kind of attention. That's not right because God, like, He made you natural the way you are, and it's crazy how they put injections or implants in them and it just makes them look like an hourglass for what? Like, just be natural, be you.
I think it's a positive and a negative. I think the positive is you're teaching kids that if they don't feel comfortable or they're not 100% positive with their body or they're not happy with what they have, then maybe you can enhance what you have. But I also think it's a negative because a lot of people like are looking at themselves like, I'm this thick, I don't got no boobs, I don't got no butt, I don't got nothing, and everybody else is posting it, so let me act like I have it, but I really don't. So I think that's the negative part of it.
Trying to be something that they want to be, but really not. Like she said, it can have bad and good. For me, the good would be you get the attention from everybody that you wanted, but then the bad, it can come out not the way you want. I seen this video on Instagram. This girl, she got lip injections because she thought her lips were too small, and they just came out looking a mess. So then she was mad. So
Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, definitely. I remember it was hard for me. I was teased a lot growing up, and who I am now wasn't who I was before. I was shy, I was quiet, I did my work. You can call me a nerd, but I was a cool nerd. And the reason that I think that would save me a little bit in high school, which I know it can be difficult, you know, being in high school, being a freshman, sophomore, would save me a little bit as I played sports. So I played basketball. So I knew some of the other cool kids, right? It's okay not to be necessarily a cool kid and be in with the in crowd because, like, what's wrong with being a nerd? What's wrong with being smart? What's wrong with accepting your body for what it is? Nothing.
I feel like I kind of went through the same thing, especially through middle school. I was just like you. I mean, yeah, I guess it's like, it wasn't like self-esteem, but it's just like I wasn't 100% there yet, and I knew I would get there eventually. So I would say to like everyone who's going through that and they're not where they want to be yet, just like the people who like use injections or whatever, they're just not where they want to be at. So you can just work on it and get there eventually. Like each year throughout high school, I just set a goal for myself, or I just changed different ways about myself, and eventually I'm almost there.
Right. Growing up, when I was in high school or middle school, I wouldn't say that I was shy, but it was just that I knew the person that I was. So a lot of people, I remember the cool kids were like the people who got in fights and people who got in regular arguments and stuff. And I remember they always used to like want to talk to me, and I used to never talk back. I used to just sit there. Like they used to sit around me and I used to sit there, and I was like, okay. But they always used to ask, how come you never talk? How come you never talk? And I'm just like, I just don't feel like it. I remember them saying, oh my goodness, are you shy? I was like, no. And then when I used to say something or like speak my mind, it used to be a shock to everybody. I was like, why is it such a shock? I'm not shy. I just don't want to talk to you. So I used to hang out with, not the weirdos, but I'm weird. So like I could be myself. I'm not a confrontational person or anything like that. So I just like to talk to those in school who don't really talk much because I don't like talking myself. So I remember in middle school, because you know how you go to elementary school, you go to middle school, you grow up with these people. So middle school, I remember a couple times people used to test me. It was probably like 3 times. And when I spoke up, everybody was shocked each time. So like I remember the second time somebody tried to mess with me, and this real popular girl was like, oh, you better not mess with her, girl. She'll get you. You better not mess with her. So it was so funny. And then the third time the same thing happened. Like, this popular girl was like, girl, you know not to mess with Jonna. So it's all about being you and being who you want to be in yourself. I don't think you have to hang out with popular people all the time just because they're popular, just because they have a certain standard. Just like we was talking about Hollywood. I know a Hollywood joke is that all the celebrities have the same doctor because they all look alike, you know?
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They all look alike. The in crowd, your in crowd can be different from someone else's in crowd, and I think that should be okay. Diversity, being different, being unique, like that should definitely be okay. Like I said, I didn't talk. I was shy. Now I'm owning my own business. Like, who would have ever thought? I'm doing public speaking. I teach at a university, so I have to talk. But I didn't realize that would be my life path. Like you said, Alexis, I didn't know that that's what I was going to grow up to be. And I feel like there's a lot of celebrities out here with the cookie cutter body and who have the same doctor. I don't know if they'll ever be who they're supposed to be because they're looking for something they're not getting. Like, they're lacking something for the reason that you're seeking so much attention on social media. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's like weird. And I don't know how we can change that. Like, how do we change our social climate to accept people for who they are?
I think you can change that by you being the bystander. You being the one, oh, I'm going to stand out today and let them do whatever they want tomorrow. And in the past, let them be them, and then you be the one to change everything. Do the difference in the world. Do the community work that you know that you can do, and participate in whatever goes on. Try to be the different.
Be yourself. Yeah, you just have to be yourself. It's a domino effect with social media. Like, if one person does something, the next person has to do it, and then the next person has to do it, and it just keeps following until it traces back to a younger crowd that wants to do the same thing. It's like seeing Bernice Burgos do something. Like, her posting a twerking video, going in a club, being a promoter, but then you see a little elementary school kid looking up to her and seeing that she's being a club promoter, or they're looking at her past. She is a great influence, but it's just certain things that you shouldn't put on social media because kids are watching, and they watch every little step and they follow everything that you do. My teacher also told me that she said when a child is born, they always say it looks like the mother or the father, so that they're looking at you and they're comparing you to somebody else. You're never gonna be your own person until you let people know that I'm on my own. I'm independent. I'm strong. I can do this. I can set the example.
Yes, there's a fine line between too old and too young. And Bernice is too old to be doing that.
Right? She a whole grandmother.
With the Cosmo like surgery stuff, I feel like celebrities, like, we make them feel down about themselves. Like, say a famous person has like a flat butt, their fans are going to talk about them, and that's what makes them want to look like Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj, because of their fans. Like, their fans bring them down. Like, just like if they post a picture at the beach or something and something's not right, the fans attack them, and I just feel like they're trying to impress us. So I feel like it's fans' fault on why celebrities make their bodies the way they are, because they're trying to impress us. So.
And it's so difficult, I think, for them. You make a really good point. Having all those people, like, let alone, mind you, I'm talking about me being back in school. I was bullied. I was teased about having a big forehead, being too skinny, etc. All these things, right? So imagine that times millions of people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just because they're famous, they think, like, people think they're not going to see our comments. They see everything.
They don't have emotions.
Yeah, like, they see everything we say about them. They can look up their name as easy as we look up their name on the internet and see everything. That's not fair to celebrities that fans bring them down, but we're supposed to be there to support them.
But these celebrity clapbacks, though, they be everything. I love celebrity clapbacks. Right. I do.
But those are the celebrities that, like, feel good at, like, I don't know if they feel good about themselves. Like, they know who they are, so they don't let those comments affect them. But then there's other people who are, like, just regular humans. Like, they have emotions, they have feelings, so they're not always as strong as others to be able to do that.
I agree. And there's a lot of celebrities that have attempted or committed suicide. Feel like that's a big impact on them. You can either handle it or you can't. Growing up, kind of relating to celebrities, I was picked on for my big thighs, for, like, my big head. Like, I was really picked on, and it started getting to me, but I always had a strong confidence level, so it never took me down to that point. But I feel like there's a lot of people that, and it has affected them. And I feel like in the middle school setting, everybody's trying to build their habits. Everybody's is trying to find themselves, so people are gonna act differently, but you just can't let that affect you. And in high school, I just think people stop caring because they're just there to be there and be done. In elementary school, everybody tries to fit in. Everybody tries to wear the newest things, wear the newest Jordans. You know, everybody tries to be everyone else. But in middle school, you're really finding yourself. It's okay to come in with Skechers. Nobody's gonna say anything. Well, you might have that one person, but yeah, nobody's gonna say anything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like growing up, I didn't like my teeth now. I had braces. But growing up, people used to make fun of my teeth. So, like, that's how I can understand how celebrities feel. Just like elementary people talking about my teeth. I got braces. So I can see why celebrities go get their bodies done because I begged and begged my mom, like, I need braces before I get in middle school. Like, I need it. 7th grade, I got braces.
I had them too. 5th grade to 10th grade, I had braces.
I just had mine from 7th grade to 9th grade.
It was rough. It was so rough. But I absolutely agree with you guys that celebrities have feelings too. They are still people. Bullying is not okay. And what happens a lot is that we focus so much on school bullying and online bullying, focus toward youth and young people, but we miss the adult. Like, adults are still bullied too, and it's messed up online. So now we have people who back in my day, bullying was in person. We didn't have social media back then. And it was kind of one of those things that just came with the territory. Like, oh, I'm going to get bullied today. All right, whatever. Like, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Bullying is a little different nowadays, especially with being able to do it from behind a computer screen or behind a phone screen and not necessarily have your identity realized. There's a lot of ghost profiles out there. That's really nobody, but it's somebody, right? And the words still cut and they hurt. So I think people should pay more attention to that and understand that it's not just the physical that hurts. Nobody has to hit you for it to hurt. Sometimes we create our own situations and our own emotions from things that happen to us. And people don't realize I can say one thing to you and say the same thing to you, but it feels different based on what your experience is and what your perspective is. What you've been through is what you've been through.
I think that people feel like it's okay to do it behind screens because they feel like they can just expose you. Like, if you do something and somebody records you, they expose you. And they think that's cute. Like, that's not cute at all because I feel as though that you should not be doing that. If you got the video of somebody, okay, that's y'all's business. Like, nobody wants to see all that. And then when that happens, y'all want to argue, fight, and all that. What's the point?
People have been, and I know you guys have seen it, people have been killed. Mm-hmm. People have lost their lives for videos that have surfaced and come out, whether it be the boyfriend or the girlfriend. And so what happens? What happened? It was the young girl at Howard that lost her life because of a fight, because of boyfriend-girlfriend stuff, where somebody liked somebody and somebody else liked somebody. Yeah.
And just saying that's my school now, because of that, they have been like really strict. And after the pledge, after every pledge we do a moment of silence for at least 30 seconds. And then if you fight, you can't come back to that school. You will be kicked out of the Voc-Tech. They will send you to an alternate school, and then they'll make sure that you don't get back into the Voc-Tech at all. And we've been really strict about that. And because of that, everybody realized this is what they do for us to grow up. They want us to grow up. We realize that. We see that they don't want us to get hurt. They don't want to see us go away like Amy did.
And what was her name again?
Amy
Joyner. Yeah.
Amy Joyner. Yep. And what exactly happened? You guys remember?
So what happened was, the reason why they fought was because Amy was going out with her boyfriend, and the girl that wanted her boyfriend didn't like her, and she felt some kind of way. So the girl that liked her boyfriend, her and her friends, they just jumped her in the bathroom, and they beat her so hard that she died.
That was sad.
Yeah. So, and then supposedly the girls that beat her up was supposed to go to jail. I think 2 of them went to jail, and 1 of them, they came back to school the next day, and the whole school jumped her, literally. Wow. And that was crazy.
I heard that 1 of them is on house arrest for a while now. Mm-hmm. So
the people don't believe something could really happen, or they don't believe if you just say words to them like don't fight, don't do this, or that you can resolve things in a different way. Like, they won't believe it until something like this really happens.
I think it all starts at your house. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you have to know how to limit yourself. What they did was taken too far. There's several ways that you could express yourself. Your anger, whatever you were feeling, you could express yourself. You didn't have to go fight somebody. In this day and age, I feel like fighting is so immature. If you really have something to say, you should say it to that person or have counseling and resolve your issues. Fighting just shows that you can't handle your problem. And it just shows that you're not at that place where you're mature enough to handle your situation. And like I said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you just have to know how to handle your own opinion and place it in a way that it won't affect somebody else in a negative way.
Like, try talking your problems out before doing something. Because if you don't talk it out, then there's no point of you either having beef with somebody, arguing with somebody, or actually going out to that person and be like, oh, she said this and he said that he said, she said stuff. It don't matter. It's not what they actually said unless you really ask them. And I feel as though that's not right. You got to talk to your problems before you do anything. And it goes to another level, to the point where it is like you either getting jumped or anything.
So that brings me to my next back in my day. Back in my day, when we had beef, my little bicycle group, we had beef. We just wouldn't talk to each other for a couple days.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't talk to each other for a couple days. And then a couple days go by and we jump on the party line and be like, hey, girl, listen.
I'm sorry.
Right. I'm sorry.
Just
talk it out.
Right.
Yeah. So now I feel like, though, we move from that stage of talking it out or not talking at all for a couple days until we get over it to fighting to now folks are just skipping the whole thing altogether and I'm pulling a gun or a knife or I'm going to get you killed.
Right.
How do people get to that point?
Yeah, why is that their first reaction? Like, how did they get to that step? How do you not think about talking first? How do you skip over all the smaller stuff?
I think it all dates back to our social life. It all goes back from there. Once technology came in, everybody lost that social perspective of everything, and it just became, oh, I'm going to join a gang because these people are going to protect me. Or I'm going to get my brother or my sister to come beat you up. Or I'm going to have somebody stalk you and get you killed. Either way, I want revenge back on you. I was raised in the church, so some things like some things is just I read my Bible about it, or I just pray about it, like, God, like, take this away. But other kids weren't raised like that. They were raised in a hood where people are getting shot, their family members are going to jail because they killed somebody. And you also have that bad influence on you, like, oh, so this person did something to my cousin, so he wanted to get him back. Now he's in jail, and then he's gonna get out one day, or he's gonna have life and he's gonna die. But either way, he got what he wanted. So I just think that we just lost that social perspective of thinking about our issues and talking about our issues, and we brought it back to violence. Kind of like that Biggie Tupac thing. Like, what their beef was about could have been resolved. It could have. But then you lost two great souls because of an issue that could have been talked out or resolved in a simple matter.
I just feel like shooting is for boys to make themselves feel like
Men.
like popular. Like
Tough.
last year, like around this time last year, my friend, she got shot at a bonfire. We threw a bonfire and it was these boys there, and I guess he was there to show off, and he ended up like shooting it up and she got shot. And I just feel like he had no reason on shooting. He had no aim. He didn't have a target. I think he was just trying to show up, and I just feel like that's what boys do. Like, they try to make themselves seem like something they're not. At the end of the day, your mom does not know you have a gun in that house. So why are you? I don't understand. I feel like they try to do it to be popular. They join gangs. They have beef with each other for nothing. For nothing.
Is your friend okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She
Okay.
just got shot in her foot.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad that she's okay.
Yeah, like she said, like, when guys or boys, they try to be tough and they bring those guns to school to make them feel like, oh yeah, I got a gun, I could do this, I could do that. Like, they feel tough and they feel like the man, like they own everything, and they don't. For real, a gun is a punk weapon. What's the point of using it? You just using it to kill somebody. Like, that's another angel or soul gone, and you killed them for what? Nothing.
I also think that boys have guns and stuff because they're not mentored. Some men, boys, they all grow up without fathers in their life, and their mothers are influencing their life. You want the best for your family, but you don't have a man in your life to positively influence you. Like, you only have that negative. You have social media, which influences. You see rappers with their guns, with their chains, talking about they got tats on their faces with the eye jobs. Like, you think that that's cool because you don't have a positive influence in your life, but it's really not. Once you grow up, you'll like look like, I just took somebody's life that could have potentially been my president or could have did something something positive in the world to affect my life or my children's life. You always want better for somebody. Boys fall out of that category. We always focus on women, like women empowerment, but when do you really see a man empower another man? It's very rare.
And the other thing is a lot of people don't have someone to talk to, or they don't know how to talk about it. Like she said earlier, it comes from your household. Like say you grew up in a household and like your parents, they never wanted to hear about your feelings. And once you talk about your feelings, so then that's when mental health problems start up. So it like plays out differently in females and males. But so males will like turn towards gangs because they feel like they don't have anyone, and they'll do stuff like that. They'll shoot because they don't really have the mental stability. Then with females, we do other things. We express ourselves in other ways because we don't have an outlet within our own households where we feel like that's our foundation, that's where we have our support, but it's not really there.
So it can show up. I think you're absolutely right. You guys, all you guys are absolutely right. That it can show up. It shows up in different ways for men than it does for women. So men, ego, clout, right? So, hey, I'm big, I'm bad, I'm tough. And then women, they say that we're like angry, black women especially, right? But there's the triggers, right? There's these buttons that are sometimes pushed. And a lot of times, us just even speaking up about something, people label us as the angry black woman. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
All the time. Like, I don't know, I'm a little scared to speak up in my classes now. In high school, it was like a smaller setting. But now in college, it's a bigger setting, but I'm still like that one black person. So it's like, how do I speak up without sounding like too aggressive, too whatever? And then it's just more of them, less of us. So like,
the fact that we have to think about that, right? Like how, what can I say? Like I had somebody jump the line. I was in a Dollar Tree the other day because I wanted some candy. And I had somebody jump in front of me and I'm like, hey, the line is back there. But I had to double check myself. Like, wait, if I speak up and I say something, are they going to look at me like the angry black woman? What happened to me after that was even crazier. So the person that I spoke up to was a young white female. And I said, hey, the line is back there. And she was like, oh, my friend was saving my spot. So I was like, all right. And I let it go. And I feel like if I had said something else, it would have been angry black woman. Like, and especially in the climate that we have going on today with all the police brutality and things happening to our community. And then on top of that, so when I'm in the line and I say that to her, another register opens up because, you know, at the Dollar Tree, there's always only one line open. And I don't understand it. So they open another line up, and from behind me, like 3 people behind me, this white guy goes to the line that just opened up. And I was like, so you didn't see all of us standing here? And there was another black lady that ended up in front of me, and she just turned around to me and she was just like shaking her head like, I don't even know what to say. So I always have to double check myself. I always have to feel like
you're not entitled to your own opinion.
Yeah, like I can express myself without being labeled the majority of my community. And I love my community, you know, I love us. And it's always a label though. Now, granted, in every culture, every community, there's always some that just don't conform to the aspect of being human, being okay. So yeah, we do have some people in our community that are rah-rah all the time. But not everyone is like that. And for me to have to feel like I have to check myself before I speak because I'll be labeled as such, and I know that I'm not that, it takes away a certain amount of your own power. You get what I'm saying? You feel the same way? Like you feel like why should we have to check ourselves before we speak?
Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't, because they don't care what they say. So to me, I mean, I understand why you don't like really say what you want to say, but me, I don't care. You don't care, so I'm not going to care. You want to talk to me how you want, I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm not going to hold back because of the color of my skin and you're going to label me a certain way. Well, don't say the things you say. And then, so me, I don't.
But that can get kind of scary too, because as we see, things sometimes happen to folks, like bad things happen to people that speak up and say what they want to say. So then we have to think about that.
God blessed my college professor. It was my 3rd year in college, and he was a white man. This was my creative writing class. Something happened on the news to where a black person got shot, but he called me out in class. He was like, so what do you think about this, Jonna? As a black woman, what do you think about this? And at first I was like, what type of racist? But then, like, God bless him, because he went in, like, he started talking about the racism in America and stuff, and he actually helped me to start speaking up, you know, about being black. So like I was really thankful for him, because I'm like always quiet, like, okay, this happened. All right, I'm not going to share my opinion. But in that class, I actually got to dig deeper and share my opinion. And so there are white people out there who share the same beliefs as black people. And that opened my eyes, you know, because at first I was like, what in the world? But he actually was good.
The police officer, did you guys hear that went into the wrong apartment?
Mhm.
There was a woman police officer, and she came home.
There was a white woman police officer
Okay.
at her apartment complex, walks in her black neighbor's apartment and shoots him. And her response was that she thought it was her apartment.
She
why
killed
did
the
she-
guy.
And she was a cop.
She was a cop, and she just claimed that she walked into the wrong apartment. They should have drug tested her. Like, I feel like she walked out of there not in handcuffs.
Yes, September 7th.
How do you walk out of a crime scene? You walked into the wrong apartment, so you say. She did know the guy, and they had dated. They were dating previously.
See, that's what I thought. I'm like, she had to have some type of problem with her neighbor to walk into the wrong apartment, and you don't see that furniture is not yours.
Right.
Like, you don't see those decorations is not yours.
Yeah, the house setup is different.
Your key don't work, or maybe she did have a key because that was her boyfriend, but, like, come on.
Right. Yeah, that's weird. It was weird. But initially, they said that she walked into the wrong apartment and shot this black guy dead.
And even if someone isn't in your apartment, why is your first instinct to shoot?
That's been my
That's
question.
always everyone's first instinct, and it shouldn't be like that.
So in addition to when we talked about back in my day, talking versus fighting versus now we're at a point where people are just picking up a gun, it's not just citizens, it's police officers. How do you guys feel about that? About what's been going on as far as police brutality?
I feel like we have no power. They act like they have all the power over us just because they have the guns or because they're supposed to be the authority, but they don't realize that technically they're the same level as us because we're all humans, we're all the same. They just have a different job than us. So
Honestly, the way I'm feeling is like white people are more privileged when it comes to when it comes to guns and knives and all that stuff. And I think that black people are always targeted as the wrong ones. We're always wrong because of our past history. Personally, I feel like it's hard to be a black woman. It's hard to be a black man because as soon as you walk out your house, it's like, oh, I'm already being targeted by a police. Or for men, it's just like I can be driving on the highway, doing the right thing, driving as fast as a white man. And in that time, if a white police officer sees me, he's going to shoot me first because I'm black. And there's a lot of racism going on with police officers. They're not there to protect us anymore. It's more like they're there to kill us. They're out to get us. Most of them, I should say. Because some of them do try to help, but most of them. When I was younger, I wanted to be a police officer because I didn't realize that. Like, I wanted to be a police officer because I saw them as somebody who helped somebody who kept the community safe. But now it's like, no, you're not keeping the community safe. You're making it worse. And then you're just adding a lot of commotion into the world rather than doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And you also have to be careful with these jobs out here because people with inner demons in them, they pick and choose the job that they want, you know? Like someone who is gun happy or something, what are they going to do? The next best thing is a police officer. I'll be a police officer, you know? I have a gun next to me all the time. You know, I get to go to the shooting range and all this other stuff. And also, just like there's predators, pedophiles, where do they go? The next best thing, you know, they get a job at Disneyland, you know? Yeah, they get a job at schools. So you really have to be careful. I think that there should be a certain level of clearance to get into a job. Like there should be, you know, more than just background checks. There needs to be everything checks for these people, you know? Like they really need to work hard for the job that they want because these predators, these people out here are just getting quick jobs, and that's where you have to be careful.
Training. We don't provide enough training. I saw a stat the other day. It's like Norway, Finland, and somewhere else. They have more extensive training than our police officers here in the United States. And I think they're doing studies, or these statistics are shown to prove that the rate of violence and killing has gone down in these other countries. So for instance, Finland, Norway, they train for so long and they've only had, literally, you can count their kills or their deaths on one hand. Here, 8,000 plus. But 8,000 plus, not even since 2001. We've had way more killings than that. It's probably been in the last year or two. 8,000 plus. What do they have? How much training do police officers have?
They go
In
to
the
police
US.
academy.
Like
It's
3
I
or
know,
6
it's like
months, I guess.
because
Oh,
my
like 6
brother,
months?
he's a cop.
Okay.
at DC.
So like 6 months.
Yeah, they go to the academy.
Still, do you feel like that's enough?
No.
like
You
you
need
have
a
people
whole
who
year.
go to school for 4 years, like doctors go to school for way
Yeah.
much more
Like
time
12
than that.
years, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, at least
yeah.
a year.
Yeah, because I know my brother, he went through criminal justice 4 years at his college, and then he went to the academy for like 6 months, half a year, and then became a cop.
Awesome. And some police officers don't even have the criminal justice background. Like, they just kind of go to the academy.
I feel like that if people want to work for the state, help protect the people, I think you should like go for another couple years at least at the academy, and then do the criminal justice in college, work on it in high school, think about it.
Are they even trained on stuff like how to communicate with people or how to go out into the community and build relationships with people, or are they only trained how to use weapons?
That's a good question. They need more training on both, because I feel like the first thing you should do is not pull. I mean, police officers have what they call a utility belt, right? Like, so you have all of these other tools at your disposal: tasers, a nightstick, anything other than a gun to just pull out and shoot and kill someone. So my question to you is, with your brother being a police officer, do you have a different perspective of the force in general? No,
I look at the same, because you don't hear stories about like black cops killing people like on purpose. No, I don't look at it any different. I just think my brother is having a regular job, just having a full time, go there every day. So I don't look at it any different. I don't look at cops any different. I mean, I kind of do, because my mom's only thing was my brother became a cop is she was worried anything could happen. My brother was in police academy around the time in Baltimore when that riot thing was going on. They were training how to go on the streets and stuff with like their masks, their protection stuff. That's what makes her scared for my brother to be a cop, because you know, you hear so many stories. And we have my aunt, well, she's a family friend. Her husband was like chief and he got killed. Like, that's my mom like worried about, because police officers, their job is dangerous though.
Absolutely.
And then my brother works in DC too.
Got
so
it. So it's a much bigger area.
They separate theirs by districts. Like after academy, you get sent to a certain district. My mom was like hoping and praying like my brother don't get District 7. But what my brother wants to be, I guess he has to go full force first, because he wants to be like an FBI agent, but you have to take steps. So there's a difference between District 1 and District 7. District 1 is like the museums and all that, and then District 7 is drugs, streets, the hood.
Gotcha.
So like it's a big difference. One night he could be at District 1, next night he'd be at District 7.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous. Coming from their perspective, fear, right? And the fear, I think there was the guy who got shot in the car with his girlfriend and his child, Philando Castro. I mean, right in front of the baby, right in front of the girlfriend. And the cop, you could clearly see, like, he was shaking, he was scared, but all because he reached for his IDs that the cop just asked for. You just asked the man for his IDs, but you were afraid because he told you, yes, I have a firearm in here. We are able to bear arms though as citizens.
Right.
So I don't understand. I'm telling you, I have a firearm in here. If I was going to do anything with it, I probably wouldn't have told you.
Yeah, it's like, if you're that skittish as a cop, you do not need to be a cop.
Shouldn't be a cop.
Like, what in the world?
I absolutely agree. What do you guys feel about school shootings? Speaking of
Metal detectors.
That's
I've
what
been
we said.
thinking about it.
That's
I
what
know
they
that
said that's what they said in my old school, my 9th grade year in high school, and my first school I went to before I switched. They talked about that so much on how they should have metal detectors, but then when we talked about it, it was like metal detectors don't work because you know how some people, they know how to hide it a certain way or bring it in a certain way. So then they was talking about the teachers having guns on them just in case of school shooting, and we was like, well, what if the teacher accidentally shoots us on accident? Then what? Y'all going?
or is having a bad day.
Right.
And the teacher is not trained to have a gun. They
Exactly.
train
That's
to
what it
teach.
was like. It was like, what if something accidentally happened? Y'all can't put that on us. They gonna blame the school for that. Then y'all gonna be in trouble and all that. So we was like, what's the point of having the teachers having guns on them?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. And I think Trump actually proposed that as well, that the teachers be armed. But in addition, you're still
More
having
problems.
guns in the
Right.
school.
It's
Like-
like we had in ELA we had to do an essay, like our final exam, and that was our question: should teachers be armed in school? I just don't think so.
The crazy thing is that my cousins, they went to school in Philly, and they went to a black school. But like all the black schools, they have the metal detectors and stuff. But the school shootings are happening in the white schools, and like a school like Mount that I went to. So there's no metal detectors there in these Caucasian schools, but they're all in the black schools that the school shootings don't even happen at, and I don't get it. I don't get why.
Yeah, like I know for one, Chester High, I know they have metal detectors and they have to go through them every day. I wouldn't be able. Like it's like I feel like you're going to the airport. That's so much time. You already running late. Then you gotta go through a metal detector. When really we should not be worrying about this. Having a gun in school, like that should be the least of our worries. Like our parents sent us to school to learn. My mom should not have to worry about getting a phone call home like your daughter's school got shot up. Your daughter's school this happened. My mom said that's the lead that she should not have to worry about that. She should feel better with me in school than anything else.
I agree.
Like my school had a threat one morning, and I was driving to school, and all the cars was leaving. It was all these cops at our school, and I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, go home. It's being threats that someone's gonna shoot up the school. And like my mom's like, she should not have to worry about that. But me, I had to stay in school, so.
Same thing happened to me. Like, since I live in Middletown, there's a lot of deers. So it was one guy, he was hunting the deer, but it was on school property. So they had put out an email or text to all the parents, and we had to go on lockdown. And all the parents was coming up to the school to see what was going on, get their children out of school. And I was like, why is he on school property anyway?
Right.
Shooting deer. Like, you know, this is a school, there's kids. So they had to put us on lockdown. But one thing about the school I went to, they had windows. So he could have shot right through the window. It was crazy.
I feel like my school didn't even take that stuff seriously. I guess it was either 9/11, the day of 9/11, or it was April Fool's. I think both days we got like calls about shootings and stuff and threats. All the school had us do is stand outside on the grass.
What?
Like, they said we have to check the school, so everyone's standing outside on the big field. We didn't get sent home or nothing. Everybody called their parents and told their parents that it was happening. The parents didn't get informed like right away. They got informed after, like later on in the day.
Wow.
So I feel like every school handled it differently. And, like it should be like a standard for all schools. Like
Absolutely.
certain kind of
Not any discrimination or stereotype of, hey, let's put metal detectors in the black schools primarily and not the white schools. Like, yeah, let's handle it. Let's standardize it. Absolutely agree.
I definitely think that if you look back to every school shooting, when have you ever seen a black man or a black woman shoot up a school? Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
But you see these white men come with guns, but we're still being targeted as the wrong ones.
Very true. And I won't go as far as to say that it hasn't happened, because maybe it has. We see like a little bit of what happens. School shootings have been going on for decades and decades, and honestly there are more that happen per year than we even are made aware of, and it's unfortunate that it even happens. But I agree that it's disproportionate. There's more white schools being shot up than there are in the black community. I absolutely agree with that.
Yes, and the gun is the white man's weapon. It is, because black people wasn't even allowed to have guns like 60 years ago. Slavery came into bombarded with guns, you know, gunpowder and everything. They made guns.
It had us making them and cleaning them and all that stuff. Yeah.
But why for like say a white person shot up the school, why are they labeled as having mental health problems, but when a black person does a shooting, it's because like
that's
they're
our
angry
culture.
for revenge.
Right.
It's just like normal or whatever.
And same thing with the guy. There was just another guy. First of all, they shot the guy who was Hispanic that was jumping on the cop cars a few weeks ago. There was another guy recently in the news within the last day or two who was kicking out cop car windows, kicking the windows out. Nothing happened to him. Not even a taser that I saw. In addition to that, I don't know if you guys saw this story either. I watch the news a lot, and not just the fake news, the real stuff going on. But there was a guy, a white guy, who they're trying to get a bill passed. He is providing the blueprint for 3D guns. Like, you can actually put this blueprint in a 3D printer and print a gun. It was released online. Don't know how many people got it. There's a bill in effect that is preventing the additional release of the blueprints. But can you imagine these blueprints out there? These guns will not have serial numbers.
Right.
They won't be registered. You can literally print a gun.
And it's crazy how like it's always the black, but when it comes to the white, they don't go to jail, or if they do go to jail, they stay in there for like 5 months and then they're out. When it comes to us, we're like in there for 45 years or life, and the white people, they just out living their life and we stuck in jail.
My mom's friend's son, he had just got his first job. He was on the way to work, and before he could step a foot in his car, he was shot by a white woman over a car that you thought was yours, but it really wasn't. And all she's sentenced to is like 5 years. But you just took somebody's life. You took somebody's child.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. And it just makes me so sad, all these things going on. Another story was the black boy. He was like 17, 18 years old riding with his white grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And the couple called the cops. Did you see that? And it was a black couple that called the cops. That,
Yes,
said
playing
that he
into
was-
stereotypes.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep. So I think that what's happening is we're seeing this stuff so much on TV, on social media, that it's becoming normalized. And it's even affecting the black community, kind of doing things against their own community. Like,
media
the guy
control.
wasn't doing anything wrong. They called and said that they thought that he was stealing the car, that he was kidnapping the grandma.
Because he was driving his grandma. Like,
Right. Mind your business.
right? Like,
Wow.
Yeah, it's getting real. So, you guys have any last thoughts on any of the topics that we talked
Okay.
about?
My last thought is that we need to change our community, whether it's with the white people, whether it's with the black people, whether it's with the Hispanic people. We all need to change in some way, somehow. Everything that goes on should not go on, and it should not continue to go on. Somebody has to stand up, or a group of people has to stand up to make that change in the world today, or it's not going to work out. It's not going to work for nobody. It's not going to last for nobody. The world will just go downhill all the way, and nobody's gonna be able to speak out because they're scared to speak out.
yes. So my last thing on the gun topic is about pro guns and all this stuff. People saying that people shoot people, not guns shoot people. But, if people didn't have a gun, then people wouldn't shoot people. Anyway, that's my last thought on that topic. Going back to the first topic about bullying. Oh, let's get these clapbacks back in order and not shootbacks, okay? So I remember this guy telling me when I started first wearing, full face of makeup, telling me, oh my God, you're so beautiful without makeup. Why do you wear makeup? You shouldn't wear makeup. Don't do that. And me saying, well, what about your tattoos? Like, I could take my face off at the end of the day. Can you take your tattoos off? No, that's for life. Whatever. Anyway, so you can go ahead somewhere with your ugly tattoos, okay? Anyway, leave me alone. And also, all 4 years of college, people asking me, what am I going to college for? What am I going to college for? Me always saying film. People saying, oh, yeah, you have a beautiful face. You'll be a great actress or something, and me just saying, no, I like to be behind the camera, not in front of the camera. That's okay too. Be who you are. Always be who you are. Don't be afraid to speak up to anybody in this world and live yourself.
I agree.
I would just say, and I want everyone to just find someone they can talk to about their problems, or not even talk, just find a different, more positive outlet instead of always going towards the negative as a first instinct, and that would help with, I guess, the mental and emotional problems that always end up leading to the violence or leading to the negative body image and stuff like that. And I would talk about the POWER campaign, which is a campaign to help prevent youth violence, and anyone who's listening can follow the campaign at POWER in Wilm Youth.
Love it.
I think that we just need a little more mentorship. I think everyone is on earth for a purpose and they have the potential to pursue what they want. But I think that we just need to realize that we have a powerful voice and you just have to use your voice for other people to hear you. And once that one person speaks up, like a domino effect in the world could possibly change. You never know what you could do until you do it.
Yeah, I feel like how they say one person can't change everything. It's true. One person can, because if you realize it, going back to the school fighting, how after the Amy fight, things changed. Literally everything done changed. People don't go in bathrooms and fight anymore. Rules change. One person can change something.
Agreed.
Yeah, because the court system, I know they have changed since that Amy situation, especially for fights. They take things really serious. They give you charges. They are not playing now. The judges, they're not.
Right.
Which is awesome. So my last thoughts are, thank you ladies for joining us. It has been a great episode, I think eye-opening, and I hope that whoever is listening to this has taken something from it and seeks the help that they need, whether it be mental help, psychological, physical help. Just making sure that you are okay from head to toe, inside and out. Be the best you that you can be, and understand that that's enough. And talk. Go back in my day. Talk it out, or don't talk at all for a little bit until you're able to talk. Because I know, sometimes it's hard to talk when you're so full of emotion. And that's sometimes what happens is we act off our current emotion, and later on we're regretful of something that has happened or something that we've said. So just take the time to stay positive, be who you are, take the lead example from the young ladies that we have here today, and just stay on the right track. Again, find somebody that you can talk to, whether it be a parent, youth. Get involved in some of the organizations out here. Resources like Power in Wilmington, the YMCA, Empower and Educate. We've got Jump First going, right? Just get involved and live your best life. See you guys next time.
Kicking back, oh yeah.